two games stand out to me right now, and that's your game and the Wendigo game. Both, I mean, they're all important, obviously, but those two games are like playoff implications for sure.
Yep. Well, I just hit record, Stork. Welcome. I caught you again.
Here I am jumping the gun.
How's everybody doing? This is the commissioner here, Jimmy Milstead, and this is episode 16 of the Storksdesk. As we just completed the long week, Stork. What's up, Kevin? Up in Canada.
Not too bad.
My deputy.
Not too bad, boys.
Yeah, so a tremendous week of action is in the books. And what do you think?
Well, I mean, like you were saying in yesterday's recap, it was a long week 17. Marathon, all-star breaks, boo.
Yeah.
You know, now we can go back to 1 week hockey for the rest of the season. So I'm
down for that. And we just started week 18, just dropped the puck here a few minutes, not too long ago. It's probably about an hour ago, but a couple games tonight. But week 18 is kicked off. Week 17 in the books. We had a big trade last week before the last time we talked to you, Stork. Vladimir Tarasenko goes from the Blues to the Rangers in exchange for Sammy Blais, some another prospect, and some picks. Also, the Blues gave up that big D-man. I always forget his last name. I thought he was a good addition. Makala or something. Yeah. I don't think anybody has him on their fantasy squad, but he's a big. I know we said his name wrong, but big Finland guy, right?
Mikola. Is that Mikolo?
Mikolo
Blake? Make you look.
Yeah, no, we'll have to look it up. I'm sounding like a tool here. I should have.
He's not fantasy worthy right now, but he's a big bruising defenseman.
That's a big pickup by the Rangers, and his first game he played the Kraken. That was Friday night, and on his first shot he scores. Panarin fed him. I think that's going to be a tremendous addition. Dave Snellgrove of the Prober Etiquette. No boo?
Boo!
Dave has Tarasenko, and it'll be interesting to see his fantasy stock. We talked about Bo Horvat. I think he's kind of fit nicely into the Islanders here and there. What do you think Tarasenko's fantasy value has done?
Well, you know, we knew he was going to be moving somewhere. I'm sure St. Louis wanted to get him out of there. St. Louis is obviously going to tear it down over the next couple of weeks before the trade deadline, and there's going to be I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I said that there would be a few trades. I'm starting to think that there could be a whole bunch of trades coming in. Big and small. I don't think we've seen the last of the big trades.
Yeah, I heard. I mean, all speculation, but the Colton Parayko guy, big key cog in that 2019 Stanley Cup championship back on the blue line, another big defenseman. I heard his name coming up as the Blues. Looks like they're kind of mailing it in for the season. But I had the 3 stars of the week right here, and I lost them. Dang it. Oh, here it is. I don't want to play this video, though. I just wanted to see the article. It was the Breadman took home number 1.
Didn't you have Kempe in there?
Oh, I have it right here. Artemi Panarin of the Rangers. This is the NHL. We're still voting on our fantasy 3 stars.
Right.
The Breadman had that 4-goal game on Saturday against the Hurricanes. He had 5 assists this last week, and that was just in 4 games. Stork, and he's on my squad, and I still lost. We'll go over scores here in a minute. Second star of the week was Erik Karlsson. Stork, this guy's on fire. I mean, does he already have the Norris wrapped up?
Well,
Two,
he's got a couple of competitors, but things might change a little bit because there's speculation that Eric Carlson is going to be moved in the next week and a half too. So
yeah. So he had 2 goals, 5 assists in 3 games during that Week 17 stretch. And then good to see Clayton Keller, Arizona Coyotes. He got the 3rd star of the week, 3 goals, 4 assists in 3 games. So we had a bunch of those guys on our polls. I don't officially have tallied that up yet. I won't go over that on the show. And I also don't have Grapes' power rankings. He's late on the job here, Stork. We'll get to that down the road. We'll talk about it on another platform. But Don Cherry, though, I think he's very much impressed with that Scott Lanham Nova Fire Brigade. Let's go over the scores last week, Stork. Week 17, the rivalry week. This wrapped up matchups between the Langley Scorpions took on Yuma, and you avoided the sweep, Stork. 13-8 winner over Julio, and you go to 10-7. Julio to 6-9-2. Any thoughts on that game last week?
Well, I really wanted, as you know, I really wanted that one badly. I did not want to get swept, and I don't want to get swept by anybody. But I've been on a roll lately, and last week all the pieces fit into place nicely for Langley. Watching a couple of big losses has vaulted me from 7th place to 3rd place all in 1 week. So, yeah, everything fell into place nicely for me last week.
And then we had Jaden. He gets a big victory. Texas freezing Mike Kuznetsov gets a big
And that's one of them.
Last day of the victory. 2-13-2 he goes. He beats the Wendigo, who's on the playoff picture at the last 6th spot currently at 9-7-1. Whalen lost to him, tied him, and beat him. So that series went 1-1-1. Another sweep, and this is incredible. This was Don Cherry's matchup of the week. Talked about it on the Commission's Corner recap last night. 12-10, DB Cooper gives Dave Snellgrove the sweep. And he's licking his chops because DB Cooper looks pretty good for that Gretzky. I know you have your sights on him. You get to play him again. But DB Cooper has his way with Dave Snellgrove. DB Cooper over Probert Etiquette, 12-10 to complete the sweep, Stork. Any comments on that matchup?
Well, I mean, Probert has been struggling lately, and all of a sudden they're sitting in 3rd place in the division. So, yeah, I'm licking my chops to get at him because I play him, I think, on the last week of the year or the second last week of the year. I got him. And there's another team that I want to beat because they're up 2-0 on me. But Robert history now for me. I'm going to be looking at him in the back mirror now. So, yeah, we can't wait to play Dave Snellgrove again. So watch out, Dave. I'm coming for you.
That'll be the last matchup of the year because I remember that. The Pipe Layers, they got a big win. They've started to wake up a little bit here. Maybe a little too late in the season, but still not eliminated. 6-11 DuPont Pipe Layers. They win at 11-8 over the 6-11 Frozen Norsemen. Nick, that was a real close game. If you remember me going over the stat by stat line last night, Nick had his opportunities. Pipe Layers though beat them in the. I don't have that series in front of me. I think these guys have each had a win. I'm not sure who won this series. I don't have everything in front of me, but a good tight series. DuPont takes this one. I think the only other matchup was mine that I didn't. No, the Great Apes of Wyoming. Josh takes a big loss to the Woody Woodpeckers. I believe Mark has beaten Josh before too. I think Mark took this series, if I'm not mistaken. 12-7, big win by the Woody Woodpeckers. They're 8-1, and they are in 8th place. Josh is now in the 5th playoff spot, and he is in danger of losing the Ovechkin division as Scott Lanham beats Jimmy Milstead at Americans 12-9. That was a tough battle. Jimmy just couldn't seem to ever get ahead of Scott in that one. It was Scott's week, I'll tell you that. He was hitting every cylinder. He is the second best team in the league at 11-6, and is now the new Ovechkin leaders. And Jimmy's in 7th place, and he's knocking on the doorstep, but he's got to get some big wins here with 4 weeks left. What do you think of the playoff picture, Stork? Let's take a look at it real quick. The 1 seed at this moment is DB Cooper at 12-5. The 2 seed is the Nova Fire Brigade at 11-6. So those guys are the division winners. They'd get the bye if the season was to end today. Right now, Yahoo's got you at 3rd. The Langley Scorpions at 10-7. In 4th place is that Probert Etiquette we talked about, Dave Snellgrove at 10-7. I'm sure this might change again. You never know. 5th place was the Wyoming Great Apes. So they fell a little bit at 10-7, and they're going to have to pick it up this week against Jimmy's Adam Americans. And then the 6th place spot is those Washington Wendigo. That tie is helping them out right now at 9-7-1. So if the playoffs were to start today, I think you would take on Washington. And Probert would take on the Great Apes with Nova and DB Cooper with the bye. So that'd be interesting. But I'm sure it'll change again. We shall see. Yeah. We've got a couple games tonight. Calgary's got a 1-1 tie with Ottawa. And then the other games are just pretty much getting underway. You got Arizona, Nashville, Florida, Minnesota, Detroit at Vancouver, and Buffalo's on the West Coast. They're taking the LA Kings. I might watch that one. That looks interesting. I need Tage Thompson bad to wake up. So, yeah, Stork. Anything popping out to you this week? As we look at this week's matchups, I usually have Don Cherry's rankings at this slot, and I don't have them right now.
What I was mentioning at the start of the show, Jimmy, was every game this week and for the rest of the season is epic and important and crucial. But there's 2 games that stand out for me this week. I don't know what Don Cherry thinks, but the Adna Americans in Wyoming, that's a huge game. Adna's trying to get back into the top 6 and Wyoming is down to 5th place now. So that's a big game with lots of playoff implications. And the other one I'm looking at is the Washington Wendigo and the Nova Fire Brigade. That Nova's trying to hold on to 1st place in the Ovechkin, and Washington is falling down to 6th place. And they're going to be looking over their shoulder because not only Adna looking at them, also the Woodpeckers who have been coming on lately. They're only 1 game behind them, and you're only a half a game behind. So we got some big games coming up, but those 2 stand out to me this week.
Yeah, Adna is yet to beat Wyoming this year. I know he's looking at his chops, or is Jimmy Milstead, the commissioner here. I remember in our first meeting, Josh won it by barely a smidgen, and then second meeting, if I recall, he stomped a mud hole in Adna. So he's going to try to get the sweep. Have you beat DuPont this year?
Yes. I think we're 1-1 this year.
Yeah, 1-1. I'm sorry, I don't have the board up like I usually do.
Yeah, well, I've got it here if you need to. Yeah, they beat me in week 3, and I beat them in week 12. So this is the rubber match for us.
Okay. Yeah, I usually have these all set on Sunday night. I didn't have time. What did you think of the Super Bowl, by the way?
It was a good game, actually. It was entertaining. 2 really good teams going at it. It was basically a photo finish, but KC took over in the second half, especially the 3rd quarter. The Eagles made a lot of mistakes, and KC made them pay.
Yeah, what did you think of that? I guess they called the holding on that one D-back.
They can't catch every play, right?
Yeah.
It happens in all sports. There's going to be calls that are missed and calls that are wrong, but that's just part of sports, right?
Yeah. No dog in the fight here. Football season. Congratulations to Kansas City Chiefs. Pat Mahomes, 2-time Super Bowl winner. I feel good for Andy Reid. That guy seems to be a good guy.
Yeah.
So I know he took forever when he was with the Eagles to try to win one. So I think that was pretty fitting. But back to fantasy hockey here. DB Cooper versus Frozen Norseman. Nick's out on a real quick 8-1. I know it's only the start of the game, but I think Nick can be a big time spoiler. I think DB Cooper can't take anything lightly. DB Cooper perhaps might have a lighter schedule than most. Him being the best team, it helps. But I know he plays Adna, he plays you. He's got Frozen, and I can't remember
DuPont.
DuPont. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at strength of schedule, I would think he's probably got a pretty nice ride there. I can't wait to see your battle with him. And I like to see where my measuring stick is up with the best team here in our league in the inaugural season. But DB Cooper.
They lost to Nova in week 14, DB Cooper.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That could be a preview. You never know. It helps to get that bye, so you're going to want to get that division title. So Washington Wendigo and the Nova Fire. That's what you just talked about, right? Or no?
Yes.
I believe the Wendigo, yeah.
Oh, Washington. I was looking at the DB Cooper and
Frozen Norseman, yeah.
Down the road.
Oh, yeah. But moving on to the Wendigo and Nova Fire Brigade this week, I think Whalen actually has done a pretty good job in this series. If I'm not, I think it's 1-1, isn't it? Maybe Whalen.
With Nova.
Whalen's 2-0.
Yeah, they Washington beat Nova Fire Brigade back in week 3, and they beat them again in week 12. So
that's what I thought.
Yeah, they're up 2-0 against them right now.
Yeah, so Whalen going for the sweep. That'll be great. Bad for Adna, but good for Washington. But let's see, Yuma and Probert Etiquette. I believe Dave's gonna owning that series. Julio kind of needs some smelling salts right now. He's kind of in a rut. I want to say he's been in a little lull here. I can't remember the last time Julio won. Let me click on some things here. He lost last week to you. He got stomped by Washington.
That's a big loss too for Yuma.
Yeah, he barely lost.
Needed to win.
He gave DB Cooper a great fight. He only lost 11-10 in week 15. He tied the Woody Woodpeckers. That was his second tie of the year back in week 14. That was 10-10. His last win came against you, Langley Scorpions, in week 13, 12-9. So kind of a big-time skid here for Julio. He's got to snap out of the 4-game losing streak, winless streak. He does pick up a point that one tie. But
the Woodpeckers.
Let me take a look at Julio real quick. He's got Probert this week, Wyoming next week. That's the last non-divisional matchup. Week 20, Human, the DuPont Pipe Layers.
Yeah.
And the last week he takes on the Frozen Norsemen. So winnable games there.
He's got to run the table right now at this point. He's got to run the table. I don't think he can afford one more loss this year.
Not at all. But I think his schedule looks pretty set up if he could put something together. Those are very winnable games. Wyoming might be his toughest test. Jaden has not beaten Woody Woodpeckers this year. He's up pretty good early as we just started. But and then I think I've gone over every matchup. That's this week.
Well, except for mine, but that's okay. I'm going to I'll take care of DuPont myself.
Yeah. So you said, is your series 1-1, or are you going for the sweep?
It's 1-1 right now.
Okay. Yeah.
But this is I'm red hot right now, and I've had a couple of injuries, especially Jack Hughes. That really hurts me. And I also lost Burakovsky, but with Jack Hughes, losing him is tough. So I'm hoping my depth guys pick up the slack, because now that I'm on a roll, I don't want to stop that roll because I now have my sights on first overall. But I got to keep winning, that's for sure.
So we got a big Stadium Series game this Saturday, Stork. My Washington Capitals taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes, never one of the teams that has never played an outdoor game. They finally get one. They're playing in the Wolfpack Stadium, NC State Wolfpack. What is it, Carter Finley Stadium?
Or something like that, yeah.
I heard the weather is pretty warm there right now. I'm interested to see what the rink's like. They said it should be good conditions on Saturday. So
yeah,
that
might
is
have
Saturday
some
night.
ice problems, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see. They seem to have done a pretty good job. I know the Caps played the Penguins at Heinz Field one year, and they had a rain problem. They delayed it from the day to the night. So,
yeah, I remember that.
We'll see how that goes. So that's something to look forward to. Let's see. NHL wise, Connor McDavid's on his way to almost 50 goals. Stork, he's got 42 at the moment. You think this guy's the Rocket?
Well, he is a rocket, but
Yeah.
I mean, it surprised me what he's doing this year. He's by far the best player in the world, and there's no question about that. And looking at the league leaders, it's pretty telling. He's way out in front, and wow, anybody who can get Connor McDavid on their team, it's like having two studs on your team because he's two studs all by himself.
Dave and the Probert Etiquette are enjoying him this year. We have no keepers. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Like we talked on a previous show. McDavid, you got the Bedard situation. I would think you'd have to go with experience, but if you want a team that's young, that's going to be an interesting fantasy debacle.
Oh man, I can't wait till next year's draft. I got to tell you, I'm already psyched up for it. So it's going to be great.
So Connor McDavid, I don't know. I did I mention Nikita Kucherov leads the league in assists with 57, and he's on Huma's team. So I think Nikita is a great player. I think I've said this before on the show. I just don't think he gets enough respect, even though Tampa Bay's been to the championship. I just don't feel like I hear enough about him. I don't know if it's a Russian thing.
No, I think it's more to do with playing in Tampa Bay. I mean, it's not exactly a hockey town, and a lot of media don't really pay attention to Tampa Bay. And not people in Tampa Bay pay attention to Tampa Bay. It's just, it still perplexes me, Dave, that we have two teams in Florida. I mean, neither one of those rinks are full at any time.
Well, Tampa Bay's pretty good. It's Florida.
Tampa Bay's not as bad. I mean, look at Florida. They've had over the last few years, they've had some really solid teams, including this year. And where are the people? Well, a lot of the people that are going to these games, and this is the truth, a lot of people going to these games, especially in Florida, are Canadians down in Florida for the winter.
Yeah.
That's who you see most. So they're mostly Canadians, which is why when you see the Canadians or the Leafs go down there, the place is full of Leaf fans or full of Habs fans. The two teams in Florida, I just don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah, so Nikita Kucherov just quietly racking up assists down there. And then back to Connor McJesus here, 97 points, Stork. What do you think he's going to end up with? So we got roughly over 2 months. Well, I guess you could say probably about 2 months. He's got 97 points. He's just about at 100, Stork. What do you think?
140, 150 maybe?
Wow.
I mean, as you know, the last 30, 25 games or so, it's a different game than the beginning of the season, and a lot of teams really bear down. But I don't think there's any stopping this guy. So if he gets 140, 150 points, I wouldn't be surprised.
And then goaltending, Linus Ullmark with the Boston Bruins, who kind of stumbled out of the gate. They lost to the Capitals the other night. That was a good game, by the way. Linus wasn't playing. That was Jeremy Swayman. So Linus Ullmark, he's having a hell of a season. 26 wins, and his save percentage is tops .937. So a big reason why DB Cooper is our number one fantasy team there in the Gretzky and overall. So I'm just going to click on points here in the real NHL. I want to get your opinion. How many guys are going to get over 100 points, you think? We got Connor McDavid at 97. Crap. I think I'm reading the right.
Falls way down from there, doesn't it?
Yeah, Draisaitl's 79.
Yeah.
That's my player. Nikita Kucherov with all those assists, he has 77 points. You got Matt Tkachuk
right now, so
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. We might have maybe just 3 or 4 over 100 this year.
And then the guy we were talking about earlier, that defenseman, Erik Karlsson, the San Jose Sharks, he's trying to gun for that 100-point. Nobody's done that since Brian Leetch.
Yeah.
He's got 73 points, 18 goals, 55 assists. He plays for the the Wyoming Great Apes. A big reason Josh is a player. Josh, though, suffering from a big injury. Logan Thompson, the big rookie, still Calder eligible in Vegas. He's week to week, Stork. That's going to be something to watch for, as I know Ad is kind of licking their chops. Josh is down to Shesterkin as his main guy. I noticed he picked up John Gibson on the waiver wire. We'll have to see. John Gibson's a great goalie playing on a struggling team. So that's going to be something interesting to watch. I like watching these little chess matchups.
Yeah, and, everybody's going to start scrambling for players now because especially the playoff-worthy teams, they're going to try to lick up everybody that's viable and get them on their squad for the stretch drive, which is happening right now.
Exactly. And the trade deadline is 1 week from this Wednesday. That's going to be February 22nd, noon Eastern. So that's going to be 9 a.m. for us, Stork, on the West Coast. And when's the real NHL trade deadline? It's first week in March?
No. It's...
Is that in February, too?
God. I'd have to look that up. I thought it was at the end of February, but I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I didn't prepare very well, as you can tell.
Now you got me curious. One thing I want to just say before I forget is on next week's show, we're going to go through some stats, some team stats, and see where we're at, which will be only with 3 games left in the season. So we'll definitely look at that next week. I'll have it all set up for us.
Right on. So, I don't know, fill some time here, just going over some quick scores.
It's, March 3rd, Jimmy.
Okay, that's what I thought. I post those daily face-off live. I love those shows in the morning. It's my first loop at work. I'm firing it up, and I put it in our group Facebook chat, and
yep.
They do a real good job. Frank Saravalli, he's a big time insider for the States. I don't know if he's...
Yeah, it's a good show, actually.
Yeah, he does a good job. Tyler Yaremchuk, he's up in Edmonton. He does a great job. And they always count down and post articles every day about the trade deadline. And they keep having the countdown. So I always forget. So it's March 3rd. And that is a, what? Is that a Wednesday too?
Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe.
Tuesday, yeah. So I can't remember if I got to work. I usually find that to be a great day to have a day off and just.
Oh, I sit there with my coffee and watch the show all morning, right up till 12 noon.
So fantasy wise, you thinking any kind of deal you're striking? I don't think Stork, you've made a move all year as far as trading. at least
No,
initially. I mean,
I'm gonna hold off. I think I'm just I've been using the waiver wire. I have looked at a couple of potential trades, but I'm pretty happy with my team with who I've got right now for the stretch drive, and I certainly don't want to be giving up any draft picks for next year to get
yes,
somebody. Although I've been thinking about it, I want to steadfast and start a nice fresh draft without losing any lower picks to get a player for this year. It
yes,
might change when we have some keepers. I might take a player that I can keep, but right now I'm just keying on what I have right now and what I can get on the waiver wire and start a nice fresh draft next season.
indeed. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait and see how I do in my matchup against Josh to determine. Even though that wouldn't totally bury me either, but if I had a loss, but I sure would like a win, Stork, and I would like to be a buyer. I don't want to be a seller. I want to get in these playoffs, um, especially in the inaugural year of the league.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting to see if anybody wants to trade. That'll be 1 week again from this Wednesday. It's almost the trade deadline, Stork. I can't believe we're already here. So
It is, my friend.
um, that's pretty much all I have. I know there's probably going to be a million things that show up when we shut her off that I wanted to talk about.
Well, if you want next week, we can do a bit of an extended show.
Yeah,
We've
I'm
got lots.
still.
We're gonna have lots to talk about next week. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well, I know the trade deadline week, definitely for the real NHL and any trades that come in during the waiver wire for us here in fantasy, we'll definitely update that as well.
Yeah, we
That
can do
that
that
week,
show
that week we should do our show on a Wednesday or the trade deadline day.
on the trade deadline. Yeah, that's a
Update
good
that.
idea.
Yeah.
I
So
like that.
that'll be
I'm
great.
available next Wednesday too. So
Good, good. I mean, I'm working, but
you can always do it in the evening if you wish.
yeah, we can do that. And yeah, it's been an outstanding first year so far. I think it's been a successful season. So next week we'll go over stats and recap everything. And Don Cherry will be on time next week, he says, with his stuff. His matchup of the week, by the way, he did tell me this. It's you and DuPont. So
Wow.
I think I think he picked DuPont. I don't know. What you think of that?
He's
I
getting
saw
old,
that.
Jimmy. I think he's going a little senile, and he needs some more Geritol. I think that's his problem.
He was 3-3 last week, and I don't know if we even wished him a happy birthday last week on the show because his birthday was right after mine.
Yeah, he's 89, I believe.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Grapes. I don't think we ever said that. If we did, apologies, or
We
we'll
did
repeat it.
now.
Happy belated. And so he went 3-3 last week, Stork, and he is 55-44 on the season for picking league matchups. So he's got a little bit of respect there.
Well, if he takes DuPont, there's one loss for him right there.
Yeah, so all right, I'll tell him he said
Sorry
that.
about that, Don, but I'm very biased towards my team.
Yeah.
I win every game.
Well, you passed the word over in our other league in the FLNH. What is it? I can never get the the non-money league. You tell the Nightmare I'm coming for him.
Yeah. The Nightmare already spoke to me about that. He was going to come on, but I begged him not to.
Good, because we don't need any of that negativity around here.
He told me to tell you that this one will be over by Wednesday.
All right. We'll see how it goes. Did he cut a promo today? I got to catch up.
He is going to be cutting a promo tonight, yes.
Okay.
Like I said, he wanted to go on your show and give you a surprise, but
yeah,
he's busy taking care of the Washington White Walkers. So yeah, he's a little incapacitated right now.
All right. Well, good luck in your matchup this week, Stork. With Langley versus DuPont. Adna takes on Josh and the Wyoming Great Apes. So that's all I got tonight. The the floor is yours for any last comments.
Like I said, buckle down, everybody. We're in the playoff stretch. Make sure you set those lines because one day of missing lines could cost you a playoff spot or cost you the week for that matter. But yeah, stay on those lines, boys, and good luck the rest of the way because we're down to the crunch.
All right. Have a good night, Stork. Badger Bob, once always said, it's a great day for hockey, and let's do that hockey and drop the puck. Good luck, boys. See you next week.
Guys.